I'm now speaking with Lloyd Osborne, candidate for City Council at large. Mr. Osborne, all right, this is a heck of a thing that you've undertaken. Why do you want to run for City Council? What motivated that desire?
Well, to tell you the truth, wasn't motivated until I seen some things starting to happen at the City Council. There was elimination of collective bargaining for the City of Fort Wayne workers. And when I seen the injustice of the voices not being heard, and they still wanted to pass a bill without a public hearing, that really started to bother me, which motivated me to start attending City Council meetings to see exactly what is going on.
Now, when did this first happen? When did this whole environment start to change like this?
The environment started to change in 2013. 2013, the City of Fort Wayne decided they were going to take away some negotiated benefits from the City of Fort Wayne workers through city ordinance rather than sitting down and negotiating the benefits away. We did everything we could to negotiate those benefits with the City of Fort Wayne, but when they took the approach to just remove it through legislation without a hearing, without talking to the public at all, that was the first glimpse I got at them being able to do what they want without even having the public's input. So it started in 2013.
So that's when you first, so at that point in time, were you vocal or were you just sitting back watching the process and learning?
Well, we were vocal when we went to the table to explain our position. We did go as a couple of us went to the table and tried to explain the position that we tried to negotiate the exact same thing that they're trying to legislate away. We were willing to do through contract negotiations. And we didn't understand why they were doing it through the legislative body rather than the executive body. And so when it passed, it wasn't a huge argument. We weren't fighting against it. So we let it go. It went through, and we all moved on. And then less than 1 year later, they came back. They, being the City of Fort Wayne Council, came back with bills.
Library open?
They came back with bills to just eliminate collective bargaining in its entirety. They introduced 3 bills, and they talked about introducing 3 bills. The bill they ended up introducing was by Councilman Crawford and Rochelle to eliminate collective bargaining for non-public safety units.
Hello, Lloyd Osborne. I live at 6112 Pheasant Pass, and I am absolutely shocked tonight. I've spent time with Rochelle, Tom Didier, Tom Smith. I've spoken to you, Mr. Harper, and every one of you said, yes, we have to look at something. Yes, we have to do something. Yes, we're going to put a process in place. 8 months has gone by. You haven't done nothing. So we decide to work our hearts out with, thank God for Schultz. And we try to bring something to this table. This wasn't collective bargaining. And for Crawford to continue to say the binding arbitration wasn't in the contracts, it was in every single contract. That is nothing that was new. We weren't adding nothing new. We were asking for a fair process for discipline and discharge. And if there's no discharge, no discipline, as you state that the mayor said there's no grievance. No problem. I'm disappointed. I sat at the table with you, Mr. Smith, and you said, by God, we'll do it. We need to take a look at this. Absolutely. So we work day and night just to bring it to the table. They can't come to you. They've been told by supervisors. They can't come to you and speak to you. You guys say everything is fair. Then you say Tim Pape. You said Tim Pape sat on the committee and he advocated for you guys. It was fair. It was fair. But you didn't listen to him then. He begged you not to do it. He begged you not to take away collective bargaining. But now you want to use him to say you think he's fair. You think he's going to do the right thing for the employees. I'm appalled. I'm appalled. These guys, I hope they come to the post. I thought for sure. I thought for sure. I absolutely thought for sure that you guys would introduce to have a good conversation. Just a conversation. That's it. We wanted to talk about it. Is there some changes that could have been made? Probably. We were open. We have been trying to talk to you guys for so many months, over a year now. And the only ones that will listen to us, why has it got to be a party line? Why does just the Democrats have to listen? These people matter. They matter. And I pray that they come out and they vote because they matter. And I'm appalled.
I have never, in all my time going to city council and watching city council, I have never seen anyone in my life as animated as you were, clearly. I mean, you're very clear in expressing your, I don't know if frustration is the right word, but briefly, what was that, connect that yesterday to what you were saying here previously.
As I connect that dot for you right now, it was because for 2 years I watched them slowly, they being city council, specifically the Republicans on city council, slowly take workers' rights away, stripping their voice completely. And after they eliminated collective bargaining, I did not get mad. I never went to the table and hollered. I never got frustrated with them. I spent time with 3 Republicans asking them the questions. Why did you do this? I wanted to just understand why you would take away workers' rights, people's rights, without having a public hearing and letting the public weigh in on this decision, on how we treat workers in this community. After spending 8 months with Councilman Didier, Councilman Smith, and Councilman Rochelle, we thought we had made an agreement to be able to put some type of review process back into place, that city employees would have a fair review process only for discipline or discharge. No negotiations for benefits or any other thing, just a review process for discipline and discharge. My shock and disappointment is after 8 months worth of work, the Democrat John Schultz at large introduced the bill just for discussion, so we could have a discussion on this. When they voted party lines, and the Republicans on city council said we absolutely will not even hear this ordinance, my disappointment came out in a way that says, for 8 months, you have told me, and you have told the president of the firefighters, and you have told the president of the FOP that you would take a look at a bill that would put some type of review process back in place for city workers. And then instead of allowing it to be introduced for discussion, you shot the bill down. That's what brought my disappointment and disappointment to the table.
So basically right now, is there anything else that you can do, or is it just a done issue now?
Well, the ironic part about it all is now they're saying that Republican candidate for mayor, Mitch Harper, is going to reintroduce a bill for a process for city workers. But they've been saying something like that for 8 months, and we haven't seen anything except what we've put on the table, and they've rejected it.
And let me ask you something. Usually that type of fire, determination, tenacity, that does not start within you. Did that come from your parents or grandparents? Where did that ability or desire to speak up when you feel that you've been wronged, where did that come from to you?
My family values. My dad has always taught me, all the way back to the playground, if you see somebody being mistreated and you see somebody abused, I want you to speak up for it. I want you to stand up for it. I do not want you to stand by on the sidelines while people's voices are not being heard, they're being bullied or abused. His expectation was that you step in, you do the best thing you can, you get help for them people. And if it means that you have to stand in the way of somebody else getting hit and taking that hit for them, then do
you know, the whole workers issue, is that your main platform or your main focus, or when you're elected into council, what should people expect from your involvement here?
Workers' rights is a passion of mine, but what drives me is safer neighborhoods. I want the citizens of this community, no matter where they live, I want them to be heard. I want all aspects of this community's voice to matter, not just certain areas of this community. I don't want certain people to sit at the table and just disregard any section of this town. And I feel like that there's sections of this town that when people come to bring their issues forward, they're just not being heard. I've heard so much as Councilman Smith say just a week ago, we have really failed the southeast part of this community. But yet you've sat on council for years. And now in an election year, you say we have neglected the southeast part of town. I don't think that's fair to the southeast part of town to just talk about it once every election year. I think it's something that is serious. You need to really look into what's going on in the southeast part of town. What can we do better? Bring the community together, take their ideas, build, use the resources we have to build the southeast, northeast, southwest. You know, we have to build all this community, but if we don't raise it all up together, then we're constantly going to have one side of the city just continually going down. So we have to give the resources to this whole community to bring us all up.
You know, in looking at the south side here, what do you personally see that could be done that's not going on right now on the south side?
Well, I worked for the city of Fort Wayne Street Department for 15 years. And I know that it is certain people have decision on where they allocate the resources to where we put into paving streets, curbs, sidewalks, patching potholes, plowing, sweeping. And so when certain people have influence without a check and balance, they can decide which side of town they choose to keep the cleanest, the best looking. And what I have seen and what I have heard from people that I've talked to is they feel in the southeast part of town they get neglected. And what makes me believe it even more is now in election year, that seems to be what people are talking about. The people that have been elected there for years now are talking about we need to do better in the southeast quadrant of the city. Why just in election year do we have that conversation?
When you get in office and you'll be solving problems, meeting needs all across the city here, what type of an overall vision do you have for Fort Wayne?
I think we need to engage the neighborhoods more. Not only just listening to just the presidents of the associations, they're very important. Partnerships, they're very important. But I think that we need to talk to the individual homeowners the most we can, the best we can, and say, what does your neighborhood need? What is the safety like in your neighborhood? How do we reach the students in the areas? How do we engage them? How do we show in the neighborhoods, how do we show them there's hope and a future in this community? And I think it starts by finding ways to engage the students, find ways to engage the family, let them know that there is opportunities here in Fort Wayne that they may not know about. There's a board that I co-founded and we started, it's called Icon Family. And one of our main focuses is to go into the schools and develop with the students. It's called this Choose Success Initiative. And one of the things we're doing is we're trying to start with the students and the youth to say, listen, this is your community. Let's build it up together and give them what's called critical thinking and opportunities. Because without hope, without opportunities, they don't know what else to do.
You know, you mentioned students here a moment ago. How would a student most benefit by attending a forum of any kind where they have a chance to listen and interface with candidates at an early age? What does that do for them?
That was an absolute great question. I would have to say that in the short period of time since I've been actively sitting on this board called Icon Family, in the youth that I've been engaged in primarily on the southeast part of town, they don't even know what that means to engage with a candidate. They see, they witness things that some of us can't even imagine. They live it. And so when you say to them, let's talk to a candidate, let's talk to somebody that's a mayor it doesn't even make sense to them, because they want to talk about what they've just seen last night. They want to talk about what they're witnessing all the time. And they want to figure out a way that they could have a better life. So to answer your question, I don't know. And I'm only referring to the ones that I have spoken to. Probably I've been about 50 of the youth so far that we've actually had dialogue with. And what we are finding is they want to know what's beyond this. What's beyond the 8th grade, 9th grade? What's beyond high school? And those are the kind of things that we're trying to teach and encourage them and show them. And we created a program, as I stated, which is called CSI, True Success Initiatives. And what we're doing is we're showing them, if you take this road, this is what could happen. But if you take these roads, college, we're trying to build in a trades portion of this thing. So we're going to visit the trades fair that they're going to be having out at the Safety Academy in May. And we're going to be taking the youth out there and saying, these are the kind of things that you can do. And so all the way back to my vision comes back to this. Safer neighborhoods, reward local businesses for what they're doing and what they're invested into this community in ways to raise family values. You have to teach people that family values really still matter in this community. I believe this community is built on family values. And I think we have to continue to teach that.
Okay, last thing here. What do you want to say to people who don't know you and have never seen you in person and witnessed that fire that came out of you? What do you want them to know about you?
Well, the first thing I want people to know about me is that my #1 passion is representing people. I've never been able to stand for a bully, and I've never been able to stand for somebody to be able to flex their authority over other people. And the passion that comes out of me says that you don't have the right to treat them that way. No matter who they are, you don't have the right to treat them that way. And my passion burns for those people. Somehow what I feel their pain. I feel what they go through, and their voice can't even be heard. And they're not even allowed to go to the mic and speak, because the last ones that went to the mic and spoke were threatened with their jobs. So then I realized that I had to be the one to go speak on their behalf. I had to make sure that their voice was heard, and that the people can't just keep being told you're not allowed to have your voice here. And so overall, I love people. I love people, I love to represent them. And I figured that this might just be the next chapter of my life, to be able to be in a position where I would be allowed to represent people and really get to know them, hear their voice, and carry their voice to a place that matters.
Lloyd, thank you very much.
I appreciate it, sir.
And thank you for watching.